Hi, everyone. Kristen and Melissa here from Success Street.
Hi, everyone.
We are very excited to start our next interview in our series, Success Street's Stamp of Approval. Here at Success Street, we provide parent and teen coaching services as well as online social emotional classes for children. And during this series, we're sharing great information with our families on products, organizations, and practitioners that we really have given our tried and true stamp of approval for items and services that really could be of help to our families. So here with us today is Scarlett Lewis from Jesse Lewis Choose Love Movement. So thank you so much and a big welcome to you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So happy to have you. So could you tell us a little bit about Jesse Lewis Choose Love Movement and about really your inspiration to create, this amazing resourceful organization?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. So, my 6-year-old son was murdered at Sandy Hook Elementary School 8 years ago. And I wanted to dedicate my life to making sure that that didn't happen to any other children or parents, because what happened that day and a lot of the suffering that we see is actually 100% preventable. And so literally the story is that I came home after that tragedy and I found a message that Jesse had written on our kitchen chalkboard. He wrote 3 words: nurturing, healing, love. He was 6 years old and in first grade, so they were phonetically spelled. But I knew instantly that if the shooter, who had been a former student and his mother had taught at the school, had been able to give and receive nurturing, healing, love, the tragedy would never have happened. So I knew that I would be spending my life getting those words, that message into schools, and that translates, of course, into homes and communities and now even businesses. But I researched how to keep kids safe for one, and then how to reduce anxiety and depression and other mental illness, how to reduce the epidemic of substance abuse and suicide and violence that we're seeing now, and realize there is a solution, and it's called social and emotional learning and character development. These are essential life skills, pretty rudimentary, like how to have healthy relationships and meaningful connections, how to manage our emotions, how to grow through difficulty that we all have in life, how to make responsible decisions, things like that. And here's the thing: we're not born with them. I learned really quickly. I was 44 years old when this tragedy happened to me, and I started researching a solution. I realized very quickly I don't have these skills and tools. Now, I am a college graduate. I was an investment banker and a bond trader, a real estate agent. I did a little bit of everything as a single mother. But I realized that I was not socially and emotionally intelligent. I just hadn't learned these skills and tools. We have to learn them. And I think for too long, we've just assumed that we've been learning them at home. Now, I mean, I had great parents. They certainly loved me and they were there for me, but they didn't have the skills and tools. And you can't give what you don't have. I wasn't giving them to my own kids. I was loving my kids, but these skills and tools they're called essential life skills, and we use them in every aspect of our lives, and they are a direct path to flourishing, and they are so important. And so, decades of research behind the benefits of them. We know that kids that have them get better grades and test scores, higher attendance, higher graduation rates, less stress and anxiety, less mental health issues. It is a statistically effective way to reduce and prevent bullying. And then the benefits stay later in life. These now young adults have less substance abuse, less mental illness, less violence and anger, less incarceration, even less divorce rates. So it's really kind of a no-brainer. Every child should have it. And I realized, after doing a little bit more digging, that it was actually priced out of the market for my son. And I realized this can't be priced out of the market for any child. This needs to be available for every child, because we know that this is the way that you find meaning and purpose in your life. This is the this is the path to happiness. So I created a program that was very usable for everyone. It's actually lifespan, and I made it no cost, because it's really, these are essential life skills and everybody's entitled to have them.
So that's such a beautiful, beautiful program that you've created, and we're so happy that you're here today. We'd love if you can just share with us a little bit about how Jesse's legacy has impacted some people that have been a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Jesse was known that day as a hero. His brave action saved 9 of his classmates' lives before losing his own. And so we've actually taken that, his message of nurturing, healing, love, and we've translated it into a powerful and profound formula for choosing love in any situation, circumstance, or interaction. This formula can literally lead you to taking your personal power and control back in any situation that happens in your life. It happens to be behind me. And we started offering this to schools 5 years ago. And today, 5 years later, by word of mouth, we're now being taught in over 10,000 schools, homes, and communities across the country, over 112 countries, because love is what connects us all as human beings. We all have a want and need to love and be loved. And it is absolutely incredible to hear how this programming is transforming and literally saving lives all across the world, and bringing people together, because we're all the same in the want and need to love and be loved. Despite any real or perceived difference, we all have that. And this is this incredible concept that we can choose this when we have a few skills and tools. So learning about stories. In fact, last night we had a celebration. We just came off celebrating Choose Love Awareness Month. We do this every February. And so we had educators from over 20 states sharing stories. There was an organization in New Hampshire for special needs that was telling us that one of the students even said it saved their life. And we've heard that. And that is so incredibly healing for me. I couldn't be more grateful to have this as really my purpose in life.
That's amazing, really. So just like you had mentioned, a few minutes ago about social emotional learning being such a significant part of learning for children, especially in schools, could you just share a little bit more with us, I guess, about the focus of social emotional learning within the organization and how it does transform schools and how maybe it's implemented in these schools?
Yes, absolutely. So there are social emotional learning programs out there. Here's the issue that schools are running into, because generally these programs have 5 core components. It's relationship skills, self-awareness, social awareness, responsible decision making, and emotional management. And that is a social emotional learning program. But you also have to have components, at least, of a mindfulness program, because you have to come to the present moment. You have to be aware of what you're thinking and things like that. So then you have these 2 programs you need. But wait a minute, there is character education, which is also necessary. And then there's growth mindset. That's really important, especially during COVID, to learn how to not only face but to grow through and learn from difficulty and be strengthened by difficulty in your life. And then there's neuroscience. We know so much about the brain, and this can give us a lot more control if we understand just a few elements. There's positive psychology, there's post-traumatic growth. There's so many different elements. So we just put all of this into the same program so that there would be one program. And we made it easy to teach, easy to learn, very accessible. And the schools handle this as if it's part of their culture. So not like another program, I take it off the shelf, I open it up. There are lessons, but there aren't that many lessons. More what the focus is practice, because social and emotional learning is really something that we have to practice. And life is this beautiful thing that it gives us the opportunity, challenges every day where we can practice our social and emotional intelligence. And so that's kind of how the program is. It's a practice, and it's woven in throughout the day and throughout all of the subjects. And then there's this really cool parent program. So programming for it's Choose Love for the Home. And that is a program that corresponds with what the kids are learning in school. So every lesson in Choose Love for Schools has a home component. So the kids get to take something home and have conversations with their parent and practice with their parents. But then parents at the same time can be doing the program at home, watching the videos, learning the languaging, and they can practice together with the kids so that everybody can be on the same page, the parents, the kids, and the educators.
That's great.
So many of our families that we work with would love a program like this in their homes. So how can they get started?
So they can get started by going to our website, chooselovemovement.org, and then register and click the home program, and you're on your way. Everything is there that you need. And while you're on, by the way, you can access any of our other resources. They're all no cost. But I also want to tell your families that we have podcasts, we have webinars, we have other events, we have a great newsletter, vlogs, blogs, all of these other things that just kind of build upon one another and offer guidance and resources. And so I suggest just take advantage of everything that we have, and then help us spread the word, because it is literally a movement. We have been spread by word of mouth. Believe it or not, word of mouth is still the most powerful way to spread a movement. And so people who do choose love and love it, they then talk about it, and they want to make sure that their friends and their families, and they share it on social media that other people know. So we just ask that you do that. Follow us on social media and then share.
Awesome. That's so great.
Amazing.
And so that's a great tip for our parents at home, how to get started. What about our educators? What's the best way for them to get started?
So educators, same thing. Go to chooselovemovement.org, register, and then you have access to all of our programming. It's in every grade level. We have prenatal programming, so not necessarily for educators, but for anybody out there that is expecting. That's a really important time for your baby's forming brain. In fact, even if you're in a stressful environment, or if you're in a stressful environment and you're not handling it very well, the cortisol that's released from your brain can cross the blood-brain barrier, and it can negatively impact your baby's forming brain. So we just talk about this, just give awareness and give you some techniques to be able to control how you thoughtfully respond to your environment. You may not be able to change your environment, but you definitely have control over how you thoughtfully respond. And then if you're like me, you're a single parent or you're two working parents and you bring your kids to daycare, we have a great infant toddler program, and obviously that is for the daycare provider, but that is also a really, really important time for your baby's brain development. And there are lots of things that can be done in your baby's or toddler's best interest. So I would print that off and I would bring it with me. Or even if you're teachers and you're passing a daycare, just drop it off so that they know about it, because those kids are going into your classroom. And so then teachers, we have programming from pre-K, individual grade level programming from pre-K through 12th grade Everything is scaffolded up. And then we have this great home program. So if you're a teacher, I would bring it into my classroom, and then I would send out a newsletter to my parents, and I would introduce the parents and just tell them what I was doing. And I would introduce them to the Choose Love for Home program, because it behooves you to have the parents on board and choosing love as well. And then, communities are choosing love. I've traveled all over the country, and if school districts are celebrating their launch of Choose Love, never fail, I'll have, the mayor on one side, the chief of police on the other, the chamber of commerce, the PTA, the local pediatrician, all these different community members. And, they had asked me, well, we want to choose love. How can we get involved? How can we support this in our schools and homes? And so we created this community program, because really there needs to be a consistent message for our kids and for them to feel safe as well.
Awesome. This is so great. We just really want to take a moment to thank you again so much for sharing, about your son, and also just sharing the Choose Love movement. This is an amazing resource. And we really hope that our families take advantage of this resource and find that this interview was helpful. So we are absolutely going to be sharing all the links that they can access this resource, and that they can get registered. So we'll have that on our Facebook page. And we just want to thank you so much again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.